Hello, everyone. Today we're going to go over two of our new features. One of them is our new addict version and the first addict version, and the second one is our default values. I'm Michelle. I'm the one you guys are always talking to on your chats and some of the support tickets. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. If you are a professional and enterprise user, I believe actually if you are specifically an enterprise user, in the right panel of your dashboard, you're going to see an option that says default values. And this is where you're actually able to set the default values for your wall thicknesses, for your roof and the slab, the heights of your houses and everything, as well as the overhang for your whole team. So this kind of tells you that if you want to set, let's say, 8-inch wall thicknesses, and all of your houses are going to be 8-inch wall thicknesses, and every time you click on a partition wall, it's going to be 4-inch partition wall. But you don't want your team to be able to manipulate them. You just want it to just be like the basic and the standard for everyone that's like works on your on their projects on your team. This is where you'll do that at. And the first thing is, when you get on here, you see we have different sections. So we have the layout parameters, the level dimension, so the thicknesses, the finished floor, the ceiling thickness, and everything else. And then you have the roof parameters, as well as the edge of the roof. But you notice that you can't change the numbers right away. That's because you want to come down here in the right panel or the bottom right and select edit. When you select edit, now this is where you go to change all of your default values. So if I want to automatically have 8-inch wall thicknesses for regular walls, I'm going to go ahead and change that here. But I want my partition walls to be 4 inches. I'm going to change that. I want the slab thickness to be a little bit less than 8 inches. So I'm going to say 6 inches. Change that here. And then just continue out. I want my edge parameters to be about, let's say, I want to do a foot. So you can change it, just type it out, hit enter. I want it to have a soffit. And then I'm going to hit check. Apply to your entire workspace. Yes. As you can see, this default value will be used by all users on this workspace. So you can continue. So that means anytime a user on your workspace comes in and try to create a different project or something, this is the default value that it's going to be shown. Now, keep in mind that once you start your project, and let me go to my projects. I'm gonna open a new tab. Once you start your projects, automatically the default value is going to be what it was set on. So I'm going to show you that in just a second. And if you have any questions, feel free to send your questions in the chat, and I'll be checking back and forth and answer questions as well. All right, so I'm going to go up to ground floor, hit wall. And now you see I changed the thickness of the wall to 8 inches. And this is what we have here. We have an 8-inch wall. If I go to partition wall, my partition wall, click on that, is 4 inches. And I want you to notice something. When I click on the wall, automatically you have the default value here. Now, you will have some people that don't want to use the default value set by the administrator on your enterprise account, and that is fine. You can change it here. So if you click on wall, and I'm going to go ahead and change it back to, let's say, 9 inches. Make sure you click on the continuous icon. And now when any wall that I draw, and instead of it being 8-inch like this one, which was what my default value was set at, is actually 9 inches. So that kind of makes it makes the process of working on projects a little bit more seamless, especially if you're working as a team on an enterprise account. All right, so moving forward, now I'm going to show you guys how to create addicts in our system. Let me switch over. And if you have any questions, I see I have a question. You cannot, it will not be per project, it'll be per portfolio. But like I showed you, once you come in to your project and click on wall, you have a default value set at the top that you can change. Let me share my screen so you can see that one more time. Okay, minimize. All right. So as you can see, when you come here and you click on wall, you can change the default value that's set in the portfolio. You can change it per project, but once you're in the project, you won't be able to change the default value per project in the project information page, because that is solely for all projects. If an administrator wants all projects to be one wall thickness, one type of floor slab, and so forth, that's where you use the default value. But if you wanted to do it per project, just come into the planner. As you click on the wall or partition wall, right here where it says default value, you get to change it for that project. And now since it's set at 9-inch, anytime I go and click on the wall icon to build something else, it's going to be built 9 inches. The thickness is going to be at 9 inches because that's what it was set on this default value for this project. But remember, the default value on the portfolio in the enterprise account, I set it to be 8 inches, which is the first one. So as you can see, for this project, I can set the default value in the planner on the layout step once I click on wall. So the new feature is our attic feature. And I know sometimes that we've had people, a lot of people built your roof on the ground floor level, but then there's no flat ceiling. Or let's say you're trying to build on an attic, but then the wall doesn't come all the way up. This is what the new feature has added to the system. So in the layout step, I'm actually just going to go ahead and build out a basic structure. So I'm going to start. All right. So the first thing is you see this basic house structure, right? Let's go ahead and add an exterior door just so we know. All right, I'm going to add an exterior door here. All right. Right now, when you add a roof to this ground floor, I'm going to go ahead and add it. The first thing that's going to happen is the walls are going to collapse down. That's just what happens to roofs on in our system. A roof needs its own level with exterior walls. But we have sometimes people don't want to add that level, or you want the roof to be like to go down to the ground floor, but you want to be able to create an attic. No problem. So I'm going to actually add a multi-slope roof to this. And as you can see, my walls are collapsed, but I'm going to raise my base height up to bring my walls back up. Okay. All right, and then what happens is anytime a room is built underneath the roof, the new feature now gives it a flat roof and gives you the option to have the walls go all the way up to the roof. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So now I'm going to draw out and choose a partition wall. Let's say I'm building this out. Okay, so I'm building this out right here, but you see how it cuts and it stops in the middle of the wall without actually going all the way up to the roof. And that's actually because when you click on that wall in the right panel, it's selected to cut at the ceiling level. So now what this tells me is like, if this is selected, anytime I draw a wall, it's going to be cut at the ceiling. It's not going to go all the way up to the walls. If you want it to go all the way up to the ceiling, to the roof, no, I'm sorry, not the ceiling, but the roof line, click on it and then just uncheck cut at ceiling level. Now you have, I'm going to go in so you can see it. So now you see it goes all the way up to the top, the ridge of the roof. And then you also have here where I have it, if I click on it, it's checked in as cut at ceiling level. So this comes in handy, especially when you're trying to create an attic space. So if I click on that, now you see that this room, if you need everything else in the house to be vaulted ceilings, but you need these walls to go all the way up, but not open, this is how you do that. So now this is with the roof being on the ground floor. If I delete this roof And I'm going to go back to layout step. I'm going to add another level. Okay, let's add a level here. I'm going to pull this back. Okay. And now let's say this is I'm going to add a roof right here. As you can see, the walls collapse down because this level is serving as the exterior walls for the support for the roof. So it's automatically going to collapse down. But you need a ground floor and an attic area, right? So this is how you create that. You have your ground floor. Go down here. So you have your ground floor in here. Down here. Okay, this is your ground floor. But you want to go upstairs and you want to create an attic area. I'm just going to zoom in right here. First thing you want to do is, you see how now you automatically have a flat ceiling between the two levels. You go to your layout. On the first floor, actually no, I'm going to go to wall opening, and I'm going to actually create a space to walk upstairs. So go to stairwell, click on that, and then I'm just going to add this opening right here. You can see it in here. And I'm going to just expand the width a little bit, expand the length. Okay. And now I have an opening coming upstairs. So you have this attic area, but you want to close out or create a room in that attic area. Go to layout, and I want you to notice how the first time I used regular walls or partition walls. I'm going to show you that it does the exact same thing using regular walls. If I click on this, and let's say I wanted to create a so I'm gonna come and go in. Sorry, the wall that I just added, this wall separated these two spaces. And the reason I added that wall is because, let's say this area right here is going to be a vaulted area. Okay, but then this area is like a loft area. Actually, let me do that the other way around, since there's a room right here. So I'm going to go back to layout. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to move it here and just move this down. All right. Go back in. All right. So what I did was, now I've created, when I use the material step, the reason I'm keeping the roof on, because I want you to see how the wall goes up, right? So you see the two different spaces over here where we kind of opened it up and created this open loft area, but we also have here where we can create an enclosed room right here, right? So if I move, this is what it's going to look like. Now, when I go back to the layout step, click on this wall, you notice how I don't have this checked. It's unchecked because I want the wall to go all the way up to the ceiling. Now, if you check it, you see how automatically the wall is cut by the ceiling of the roof. So let me go back in. All right, so as you can see right here, you see this opening right here. You can lower those walls if you like. You can click on it and then just lower the height of that wall, and you can bring it down. But it's cut at the ceiling because I have it checked. We're gonna keep it this way. And let's say we're gonna do some kind of an opening. Okay. All right, so now I have a opening upstairs. I'm in the attic area. I have an opening upstairs that I've created in here, or I can remove this opening and I can check in here, uncheck the ground, uncheck the baseboard. And then let's say I'm going to lower this wall, come back in here. All right, Now you have an open mezzanine area right here, like a vaulted area, I should say. But then you have the loft area in the attic up here. So essentially, that is how you'll be able to create your attic space. But something I want you to notice is it's going to have, because we created this room, you will see this floating ceiling option right here. Now, if you don't need it, just go ahead and click into the room that we created and then uncheck ceiling. And then we created this one right here and then uncheck ceiling. It will go away. So it's nothing that's wrong with it. It's just showing you the ceiling. But if you needed that ceiling, just go ahead and click in that space and put the ceiling back. And remember, since we removed the ground and the baseboard here to open up the space, you want to come downstairs and use a hidden wall to create another space downstairs. And then just uncheck it to remove the ceiling. And yes, you cannot see a ceiling here, but when you take a rendering, if this space is supposed to be open, the rendering is going to show a flat ceiling. So you have to go back underneath and uncheck the ceiling and uncheck the ground and baseboard at the very top if you're creating that vaulted look. A part of this new feature, we also have the ceiling stairs, the attic stairs, I should say. Let me go to furnishing, staircase. On the staircase, straight where it says retractable, that's the attic stairs. You want to actually add that. I'm going to go down to the ground floor. I'm actually going to add that in this opening right here. And now I'm going to just, I need to adjust the dimensions. Oh, actually, wait, hold on. All right, under here. I'm going to adjust the dimensions of this. So I want the elevation to come down a little bit more. I want to expand the length. Now, an easier way to do that, if you go to wall opening, click on your opening, and I see that the length of my opening is 9 feet. The width is 5 feet, 6.5 inches. I'm going to go back to my furnishing, and I'm going to click on here, make sure my length is 9 feet. And my width is 5.5 inches. Hold on, wait. Let me make sure. 5 feet, 6.5 inches. Sorry. 5 feet. All right. Now from the top floor, if I go to the top view, and just change the camera up, I'm going to come here and adjust where my opening is. You can put the top floor back because now you can see where the actual opening is. All right. Now I can increase the height of this, or I'm going to lower the height. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to increase the height to bring it up a little bit more. And there you have it. You have this. If it's too large, obviously you can adjust the wall opening as well as the retractable stairs. Or if you don't need that and you need to show it closed, you can remove the opening and then go back to your furnishing step and just show where it's going to be here. And this shows that these are the retractable stairs are going to be right here. Does anybody have any questions? No questions? Okay, I think that's about it for today. Let me go back and see if I missed anything. I need to raise the elevation for this to bring it up a little bit. Okay. I don't think I missed anything. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and send us an email at support@cedreo.com. And one of us will be, oh, wait, hold on. I have a question. Oh, I see. Thank you. Anyway, one of us will we would answer your question, or you also have the chat as a professional and enterprise users. You have access to the chat as well. If you feel like you need a little bit of one-on-one session to have some more training on the software, go ahead and send us an email at support@cedreo.com, and myself or Zach is going to send you our calendar link to schedule a time. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.